Hey everyone, give me a second here. Hey, how's it going? So, we have our next portfolio review. This is exciting. So before we jump into that, Milk Wars Swamp Thing next week. I also got American Way #6 in the mail from DC, so I assume that's coming out soon. It's got to be either like this week or next. Look for it. It's the conclusion to the American Way series. We've been working on it real hard. This is a really cool issue. Check it out. Flip through it. Hey Matt Garvey. Hey Boyks. Hey Kate. Hey Barry. We are going to be doing Nimesh's portfolio review today. And just a reminder, like we did, if you're a regular viewer of the stream, we did Barry Colors. Barry's also in the chat. We did his portfolio review. And like all portfolio reviews, I want to just like straight up in the beginning be like, I like Nimesh. He's in the chat. He's a subscriber. He gets this portfolio review. I want this portfolio to be as constructive as possible for him, which means like I'm going to be pointing out stuff he's got to work on. Like I'm not going to hold his hand through the whole thing. So this is like the real talk zone. This is me sitting down, dedicating some time with a subscriber. And if you want to get a portfolio review, if you get to the end of this video and you're like, oh man, I gotta get my portfolio reviewed, you can always subscribe right up there, twitch.tv/Nickfil. If you do that, you link it to the Discord, you can drop it off, and I will, when we get a little break in schedule with the Discord, I will review your portfolio. So with that in mind, let's get into it.
This is no place for the weak or the foolhardy.
Weird. That was weird. You guys heard that too, right? Anyway, okay. So yeah, let's be respectful. Let's be, yeah, all these things. So Nimesh, sent me, he sent me high resolution, Nick's apartment's haunted. He sent me high resolution pieces that he wants specifically critiqued. So, but he also sent me an actual page that's a portfolio review. And this is the page that he sent me. That's like his portfolio. And I just want to say first impressions is that a lot of, like, I like this kind of like broken up like this. Barry's was kind of like squares that were right on top of each other. This is a little bit better. But I do think this is a lot of stuff. Like this is too much for a portfolio. Like it's just, there's a lot going on here. So I would cut, like the easy cuts to make are stuff like, you know, like this Firestorm's cool, but it's like, you know, it's a pinup, you know, like we color a lot of pinups on stream. That's just like fun stuff. This is like perfect for an Instagram, not great for sending out a portfolio. And if this is going to be your site for your work to get work, you want to like keep it cultivated, keep it tight, keep it under 10 things. And you know, I say under 10, but if you had 11, like it's not the end of the world. If you had 5, it's not the end of the world. It's just like a rule of thumb kind of thing. So yeah, so like this is, you know, a page from Blue Beetle 10, but it's like this is one page. This is one thing. So it's like, you know, this is still a pinup. But like I see you're doing sequentials like here, which is awesome. This is what you should be doing. If you want to work in comics, and it looks like you do, like this is what you should be doing, this kind of stuff. But let's get into the pages that you gave me rather than the website link before we it looks like too that you're uploading a lot of different stuff on the website. Like of varying qualities. This looks like the website looks like it's like a dump, you know, like not like a dump like a crappy town, but like a dump like it's like, oh, every time you do something you upload it. And I would caution against that. I would keep something curated. It looks like an archive. Yeah. So yeah, I would keep that. Let's make sure the links work. Yeah, links work. I mean, that's a good thing. Yeah. Oh, and you got productions, you got stuff in here. Oh, that's cool. I like this. This is good. Keep this. Even though, so I saw that some of that stuff was published. Even though it's published, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the portfolio. I would caution against that because some of it looked to be a little amateur, and you want to put your best foot forward. Yeah, it's a good look. So like, we're gonna talk about where you need to go for color, but I would say that like you're using a lot of bright color, and you're using a lot of color that like you're doing a lot of risky stuff back here that's paying off. That's like cool. You know, you're not doing local color like local Joe kind of color. You're like changing it up, which is neat. But let's get into the pages that you provided, because I think that this is old stuff and you want to talk about new stuff. So, here is the Somni Daredevil page that was floating around in my Discord. I think Matt Garvey, did the flats for this. So if you're interested and you're an aspiring colorist, there's flatted pages for practice. And they're in my Discord. So join my Discord and nab some pages and get coloring. All right. So first impressions are that the page looks good. It's tough to make Somni look bad, so you're already like one step ahead of the game. I did notice that you're working. This is CMYK. Some of these pages were in like RGB. Yeah, this one's RGB. This one's RGB. Yeah, this might be the only CMYK page. I thought I was going crazy there for a minute. It's good to be working CMYK. Because I mean, like, there was a big like to do on Twitter about working in CMYK. One of the Marvel editors was talking about it, working in RGB and then it not printing well in CMYK. And we're going to talk about that a lot, because I think that that's one of the things that's going to be bogging you down later in the review. Let's see right now, like where we're at as far as, see, like, this is the kind of thing. I know you converted it over, but I'm looking at 40% K-tone. Like, this looks like a dull blue to you, but this is going to print so much darker than like you think it's going to print. Like, the K-tones are, when you start like mixing black into the CMY, it starts to get a little off the rails. And this is not like a color that you can't reproduce. Like this color that I just grabbed, which is 85, 60, 50, is pretty close to this. Like, we're pretty close. So, I mean, you can roll with that. Let me check out what you got going on as far as layers over here. Oh, it's 5 o'clock. Let me check out the layers. So you have color fill for the foreground here. This is normal, 63%. So, you know, your process is your process. You can do it however you want to do it. However, like, you can just, you know, like, you don't, this doesn't need to be a separate layer. You can just put color in. I think that when you start to mess with layers in general, and you start to put layers on top of layers on top of layers, you're going to start to also have K-tone problems. So if I were you, I would keep like as tight as you can to like one layer. You have the inks layer here, color holds for the glass. This is the Daredevil vision, and then oh, you got a little bit of glows back there. Okay, so my first impression is that Daredevil's crashing through the glass here. Daredevil's crashing through the glass, and he's crashing into this party, and it looks like the lights are off and then the lights are on, and talking local Joe in the chat. So it looks like the lights are off and then the lights are on. I don't know if this is, like, I haven't seen the original page. I don't know if this is a script thing, but I would, if you're putting a standalone page into your portfolio, I would try to keep it as recognizable and readable as possible, and I would abandon what the script's doing. There's a couple weird things you got going on, like these three guys are separate for some reason, and like I don't know why they're separate. This again could be like a storytelling thing with the original page, but like I don't have any of the context for any of this. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying to understand, like I don't know why you made these choices. Also, you're like not coloring this stuff back here. I don't know if that was a like choice. Whoa. Are we under? There we go. We're under the line art. I don't know if it was a choice to not color that stuff. It seems like an odd choice. Like just kind of like fill it, make it square just for simplicity's sake. But yeah, the biggest thing is that like it's dark here and then it's light here. And I noticed that like you have this problem in other pages as well. That like this one, for example, like background's yellow, background's red, background's dark, background's green, background's blue. You need like a sense of like grounded, the world exists in like as a specific color. You need like a sense of environment. That's what's like, and this page in particular is tough because it's like, oh, you're like, oh, well, I want to pop the fighting on this panel, so we're doing like a big star effect, and like, you know, that's what the artist did, and so like I can be like, all right, I can let the first panel go, but like in this one, she's just like fighting Green Hornet, and you know, it's just like a pretty mundane panel, but then it gets dark. And then it's like, and then it's like, oh wait, now he's in a green space, and it's like, but now the space is blue. It's like, are they fighting in something that's like moving, or like, you're like, it's tough to figure out. And I think that by just going in and just like, oh my God, I don't know if we can do as many editing as much editing as I thought that maybe we could. Yeah, we're going to pick up all kinds of costume stuff. Yeah, this is a disaster. But yeah, so you know what I mean? Like if you kept like the rest of this red instead of like bouncing around the color wheel, it would be like much more grounded in reality. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, other than you have the same K-tone problem happening here, this is so dark. Like 70-70, 50-50. This is going to print almost black, which means that you're gonna like lose the line art back here. Like when you're here, it looks fine. Like you're not gonna lose any of the line art here. Like this stuff looks good, but when you're here, you're gonna start the line art's gonna start getting drowned out, and you're gonna see like it looks fine on your screen, but when you print it, when it hits print, your line artist is gonna be like, oh my God, Nimesh like wrecked my line art. I don't want to work with him again. You're gonna have that problem. So again, you got to rein in the K-tones, and we're gonna talk about this in a little more detail in following videos about like what I do for K-tone stuff, because this is, I feel like a big problem with a lot of artists who are just starting out. Like, yeah, you're real dark in here. Yeah, we're almost like 60-70 across the board. Yeah, this is not where you want to be. But other than that, So I noticed you're doing like tight grads and stuff in the hands and stuff. All this stuff looks really, really good, and I can tell that you're putting a lot of time in. K-Tones is your rapper name. Oh no. I can tell that you're putting a lot of time in. That stuff all looks good, but it starts to, when you start to do this, like, I don't know, like airbrushy kind of stuff on the face, it kind of falls apart. I'm not a huge fan of that. And it's I can see you putting a lot of time in here, and then by the time you get to like stuff like this, you're tired, and you're not thinking about like, oh, like, you know, the hand doesn't just stop. It looks like a weird physical object there. Like you want to take this color and just like, you know, do something like that. You want to make it feel like the hand was there a second ago. Like it fades. And it's if you get bogged down in tiny details like this, where you're like, oh my God, I'm airbrushing this, I'm airbrushing this, I'm airbrushing this. When you get to stuff like this, you're tired, you're not seeing the forest for the trees, and you're like, oh, this looks good, this looks fine. Yeah, same thing with this. Like, this is creating like a like really big line here, and I can see that this was like kind of in the art. I would fix this. And like you're like drawing in the rest of the arm here. This is a tough page to make. Like, this drawing is like a very incomplete like punch. It's a weird thing. And like, I see you trying to like craft it in. You're thinking about it as far as like, this punch has space, this arm should be here, but like in reality what the artist is looking for is like, all right, let's see if we can get into some of this stuff. All right, I'm trying to decode your layers. Forgive me. We might be butchering in here. All right. So you can just take, yeah. So like, the artist is kind of like leaving this vague, so you can leave this vague too. Like, it's not on you to like draw the rest of the arm, you know? And by leaving it like a little vague, you can kind of like we're leaving it very, very vague. We're fast and dirty right now. This stream is loose and dirty. We can like do a screen, do a radiograd, and like kind of like chunk it out. Like, you know, so we're taking it and we're making it less specific. Matt, please. And you can do the same thing for all these little like punches back here, you know? You can really like pop them out. I see you like kind of starting to do it here, but it's like you're just not quite there. I'm using like a darker orange, and I see you like trying to be like, okay, these guys are going to fade out in the back, and then these ones are more intense in the front. And like, it's good storytelling, but like, you're not pushing it far enough on this particular page. Like, you need to push it a little bit further, and it'll ring a little bit truer. Like, I would try to get like, when I do something like this, I take the one that's like furthest away, and I'm like, okay, how far back are we going to fade it? 50%? Like another 50%? Start there. And then be like, okay, now the next two, what are we going to do? Like, just 50? Like, maybe just 50? And then it's like, all right, now we're building the momentum. You got to like really commit to it, you know? Do you need another adult to watch this? Why? Because we're fast and loose? Quick and dirty? This is what you get when we start the stream after 5 o'clock. But you can do the same thing here with the that we were doing down here with the little explosions. Like kind of like overlap it a little bit, make her a little more intense. And like I said, like you really gotta ground the environment. Like I know that like the artist didn't really draw a whole lot of environment for this, but like you really got to ground it. Just like doing a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's see if I can. Also, you know, like I've seen the rendering that you do. Like this kind of stuff, don't put this in your portfolio. These kind of like weird translucent circles. Like you're using a texture brush here, use the same texture brush here. It'll look a lot better. See, like, so now we've grounded this page. This page now has Nickfil After Dark. Yeah. So now we've grounded this page. Like this page has environment now. We could even take like this purple, and this was just like little things to like give this page a little bit of environment. That's it, you know? Now we know that they're in this like red space. And then this red space can further inform like the rest of the figures. Like we can take all the figures and they're looking a little bit local. Like they're looking a little bit local Joe. A little bit of green, a little bit of blue. We can take the whole thing and like tilt it a little magenta. Oh my God. This is weird in RGB. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like you can start to like mess with it. Yeah, just like a little wash. Magic. Yeah, I'm basically this is all black magic. So like, you know, we barely did anything here, but like the page is overall stronger. Here, we can go back. So like this is the page you gave me. And this is us just tweaking the backgrounds, tweaking the action a little bit, and then washing it with red. And it's like overall stronger because we have a sense of environment and we tweak the action a little bit. So yeah, I think that's like a good take. And you know, like I said, I feel like you have the same problem here where like you're doing this like creamy, like warm background, and then you're doing this cool background over here. Like maybe the power's cut and Daredevil's jumped in to a room that's dark. Maybe he cut the power to like give him, you know, an advantage or whatever. You can just take this blue. Whoa. Too dark. Like wash it. The problem is that your like other layers are messing with me. But yeah, like you can keep it like dark like that. If you do that though, keep in mind you want to like tweak the rest of it so that the figures still work. You know, maybe something like this or like brighter, because Chris Somney's stuff looks good bright. So now it looks like Daredevil's crashing into a room that's totally dark and your environment is all grounded. You know? But we can back up a little bit. Art After Dark. Chat is on a different level right now. So the radar lines that you put down, they look good, but like I said, I would have them all one color because like they just you don't need to do these like separate figures. If you want to do separate figures, I would do them kind of like start with a dark color and like ping the stuff that Daredevil wants to look at, you know, like stuff like that. It's a little bit better of a solution because basically what's happening in that panel is a lot of like graphic kind of stuff, and you don't want to step on Somni's toes too much. So yeah, that would be my solution for that. You're having a problem up here. Like we're getting into full disclosure, okay? Hands off the keyboard. We're getting into like semantic kind of stuff. But like this is stuff that I feel like your sense of color is strong. Like you don't need to work on Local Joe kind of stuff. The stuff that you need to work on is like, how do you rein it in after you do the washes? How do you think about environments? So a lot of that stuff is going to be small tweaks and a little more thought. So, you know, like we're getting into semantics, but like, I want you to know why. So we have like the sound effect up here. That's a technical term. And you can, pop this out by like doing a lighter color up here. It doesn't have to be true to the life, you know, like we're popping out that sound effect, making it a little bit better. And you can think about like, you know, the outside of the glass as like a different environment. You're doing blue glass and you've rendered it beautifully, all the glass, and then you're drowning it out in this like blue background. You're doing blue on top of blue on top of blue. And it's like, well, you can take like a darker red or something and just like throw it through there. And now like the glass pops out, you know, like you got to think about like you're doing a lot of washes and you're doing a lot of like cool color stuff, but you want to think about the colors that you're putting on top of each other, because you're starting to drown out design elements and you're starting to drown out figures, and you don't want to be doing that. Like as a colorist, you want to like showcase these things. 2 in the middle. You like the separate color guys? Yeah, I mean, you could do separate color guys, but I think that, so we can go back. Maybe these are too similar. If you wanted to do separate color guys, like you could do, grab all of it, Photoshop. You could do like white or something like that. Something like a little more engaging. You know, something like this, like might look a little bit better. It's a little more committal to like the color around it instead of just kind of like being this pink wash. All right. So here's another thing that I wanted to talk to Nimesh about. You're doing these like cuts here and with like a little bit of grad. Perfect for Somni's work. Like this stuff aced it. This is a little weird because like, you know, you don't have, you need like a lighter side on this guy's face. You're starting to like collapse a little bit, like, but yeah, like totally perfect. But then you get over here and you get in your own way. Like this, you're doing again, this like airbrushy kind of like this is like splotchy. It does not look good on Somni's work. And like the same thing with the corset. Like you want to, as a colorist, like a good rule of thumb is to like echo the lines that are down in the figures. Like if Somni's doing these like chunky kind of graphic stuff, like you can kind of like roll with that. Like Somni doesn't need to be digitally painted. And it'll save you a ton of time. Like, so like you should take this and like maybe we do like a little shadow under the nose. Oh my God, Photoshop, please. Little shadow under the nose. Just like that. Like this is all you need, you know? You take like, I'm doing this like in front of my screen instead of in my lap, but like, you know, little, Somni's doing like these little ridges in the corset. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be even perfect. Like we're just kind of like rolling what he put down, and it looks stronger. And you did it. The thing that kills me is you did it over here and it's perfect. And then you turn around and got in your own way. You like went down a rabbit hole like on this girl, but the rest of it you did cuts. And so it like lacks a cohesive language. And I know that you can do this. You just got like, sidetracked. Another thing is I would colorize the line art for like stuff like this, little actiony like lines. We're losing another tablecloth back here. I would color that in, but like that's stuff that an artist could approach you in notes. That's not that big of a deal. But if you're making this for a portfolio review, I would consider that. So if you're going into these pages and you're tweaking them, I would either make everything dark in here or lighten up this panel to match this panel. It's because men are hard and girls are soft, of course. Yeah, but maybe not the way Chris Samnee draws them. Chris Samnee cartoons them, and you should cartoon your line art as well. Excuse me. That would cement them as the guys in the next panel. Yeah, I mean, I see where your head's at, but like, the problem is that we don't have any setup or dialogue or anything like that. So like, I see where the chat is arguing, well, like these three guys are the ones that jumped Daredevil. Well, this panel doesn't give me any information on these three guys, and that's the problem. So like, instead of doing that, just showcase Daredevil's vision and showcase your color. Like, you guys are getting bogged down in the story and you're not seeing the forest for the trees. When you want to just like showcase that you're a capable colorist kind of thing. Cause like this stuff is also stuff that can be handled in notes. Like if you turned in a page that was like fully fleshed out, rooted in environment and stuff like that, and they were like, oh, we need to pop three guys in this panel for this. Like that's a note that you can easily do. All right, let's move on. Cause we've I think belabored that. You love panel 2, super cool. Yeah. All right. This is one of the more successful pages in your portfolio. It's really neat. The reason that it's one of the more successful ones is because you have like a good sense of environment. Everything's washed with this like pink tone. The plane with the glare looks fantastic. You knocked out all the line art in the parachute. Like the snow, people always do blue snow, and you did like this pinkish, and like that stuff is A+. Like it's gonna set you apart, and like I look through this stuff and you have like a voice with color. Like you're very, very bright, very like hard edges and stuff like this. Yeah, like this looks great. A couple of ways that you can knock this stuff up. By the way, you're also running into the problem again where like this is real dark and you're in a ton of K-tone. So yeah, you want to not do that. And I see you knocking out the line art here, and then you're not really knocking out the line art back here, unfortunately. Like I would have liked, you can, with all this snow, you can knock out all of it. All of this line art can get knocked out. I wonder if we can we grab this? Yeah. Oh, so you were like kind of knocking it out. Maybe it's just too dark. I wonder if your monitor is just very light. I wonder if your monitor is not calibrated for print. And that's the problem that you're having. You're seeing stuff like much more light, because maybe you did like knock all this stuff out, but it's just like not reading on my screen. So I'm filling it with a much lighter color. Maybe we could do pink, 50%. Yeah, so like roll with it, push it. Make it super good. Also, with stuff like this, where you got like snow flying all over the place, You can, and I did this at home forever ago, is I made a little brush. Oh God, Photoshop. Your pages are very large, Nimesh, and Photoshop's struggling. I just took a white piece of paper. Is this gonna do it? Are we? Oh, we're still on the color hold. That's why this is all over the place. Are we still on the color hold? What's happening here? Hold on. Photoshop, are you just struggling? Yeah, there we go. There we go. We got there eventually. Small curse of the 10-year-old computer. Yeah, that's what we got going on right now. Photoshop just decided to like struggle. But yeah, you can like, I took a like toothbrush, put a little bit of black ink on it, sprayed it at a like 10 pieces of paper or 5 pieces of paper or whatever. This was like 10 years ago, around the time when I got this computer, and like I just scanned that stuff in and turned it into a brush. And so you can do like these little like dots and stuff. You don't have to like manually do this every time you need to like put down some like snow blasting in the air, but it'll add a sense of movement. It'll add like some energy. It'll add like dust and debris, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not worried about that. So here's the thing. Barely a Blender just said in the chat, some of the snow in the air is bright, but at the bottom right, it's suddenly dark. The page is pretty though. Yeah, so much so that you're sold. Yeah, so my computer is struggling. Let's, you know what? Let's start closing stuff. Let's start closing stuff that we're not using. So here's the thing. Nimesh has made this like kind of, you know, nighttime at like kind of feel to this page. So I am like not worried about, like, it never occurred to me that like snow is too dark or too light, because it was like, oh, it's like kind of darkish and he's kind of like getting away with it. The only thing that I would do is like this stuff in the distance. So if it's like this nighttime and you want to push the stuff in the distance back further into the distance, it's got to actually be darker, not lighter. Like it's got to match the skyline. Like, I don't know if you saw that, but I grabbed this color. As things recede into the distance, they get more alike the sky. It turns into the sky color because you're getting more sky between you and whatever the object is back there. So that's what I would do for that. Obviously not as sloppy as I did it. And like you can do the same kind of mentality with this, with like the snow. Like you can push the snow back a little bit, you know, like make some of the snowflakes like way off in the distance, like 80%. This guy's way back there now, you know, like you can create some like depth of field by like manipulating that kind of stuff. Man, I really think your monitor is too bright. They make these like little spider guys. They're called spiders. I don't know why they're called spiders. We can close this guy too. They're like, they have like 3 suction cups and a camera. You like attach them to your monitor and they'll help you calibrate your monitor for print. This is also something that will drive you insane, full disclosure, because you'll like tweak it and then you'll get something in print and then you'll look at that and you'll tweak it and you'll tweak it and you'll drive yourself. You'll be like, is this a little more blue? Is this a little more yellow? Is this like, did I go too far? Did I go not far enough? It's like, it will drive you nuts because you're trying to match CMYK to RGB and it's madness. So you got some of the same problems here as you do on other pages. This is way too dark. Like this is just too dark. It's gonna print, especially when we go into here. Like I'm sure this is showing up fine on your monitor, but like we're like 80, 80, 40, 40. Like we're getting really dark. So, okay. This page, you like really committed to the ambient color, which I love. However, I think you committed too hard. Part of the problem that you have going on here is like you hit this. So like, first of all, let's not color this gutter because the page is going to read weird, especially with such a dark color. Stuff is brighter in RGB because it's mixing light instead of pigment. Yep. Something that looks okay in RGB will get dark and muddy in CMYK. Yeah. So a lot of people were talking about properly shifting RGB to CMYK. And I think that that's a conversation that's worth having, but my solution is to just work in CMYK. You know, like if you're trying to get stuff in print and the end result is like put it in print, why are we even messing around with conversions and all that stuff? Like look, full disclosure. I know a lot about color. When it comes to like a lot of the tech stuff, like I started at a time when the tech stuff was bad. Like I started in like early 2000s. So like the tech wasn't there for like conversions and stuff. Like we were flying by the seat of our pants and we're being like, okay, no K, only CMY. We're printing this on newsprint. It's going to look terrible on newsprint. So we got to make it like look as good as it can. So I was learning all these techniques before we started printing it on like better paper. So blending modes have different effects in RGB and CMYK too. Yeah. So like you're going to end up with like so what I'm saying is that my mentality is like, fuck, like messing with like all this other stuff. Like just do it in CMYK and like be done, you know, like crack it in CMYK and then you won't ever have to figure it out ever again, you know? And it's crazy because like my monitor is calibrated for print, the one that I have here. And then I have on the other monitor over here, I have the it's like streaming the stream, and I'm looking at it and the one on the left is brighter and your page looks better on the one on the left. I really feel like your monitor is too dark. Like this stuff is going to print like this 70 70 50 70. This color is going to print black, and I know you don't want it black because it's not totally black. It's not this color, you know? Like it's like I can see you thinking about this stuff because I can see it in the other monitor. So don't do yourself a favor and definitely calibrate your stuff for print. So part of the problem that you have on this page is that yeah, the only thing Fake McCoy says go full CMYK from the start. Yeah. It's only 100. The only reason to use RGB is a program that doesn't do CMYK. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing this in Photoshop, you could just do it in CMYK. So part of the problem that you're having here is that you don't have a strong light source. And because you don't have a strong light source and you're using these like texture brushes, by the way, the texture looks really good. It's nice and subtle, looks good. But like the problem is that you're starting to like we're just gonna do that just to give it like a stronger light source. It's like the moonlight's casting down. You're getting like bogged down in like this stuff, like trying to texturize this, and it's like flattening out in like a weird way. You could even add, so like you have this like kind of shine going on here. You can add this like same shine like to the whoa, not like that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that every time, huh? I'm still doing it, in fact. You need to add that same shine to like the banister, because this is like a dreamy kind of like sequence, you know? So you have the bat flying in, and you want to be here, but you also want to notice the bat. And so you set up this like very dark area for the bat, and then you did a very dark bat. And this is the same thing that was going on with Daredevil breaking through the glass in the night sky, and the glass was blue and the sky was blue. You have the same problem. Like the bat is too dark for this to like be noticeable. So you want to like make the bat a little bit lighter, a little bit redder perhaps. But like, so okay. There's a CMYK preview feature. If you're going to use RGB, see what it'll look like in CMYK, but do you agree, Ziggy and Nick, about just doing CMYK for the start? Yeah, Control Y for the preview. Yeah. I mean, if you're bouncing back and forth, like, I don't even understand what the advantage is for RGB. Like, you know, just put it in CMYK and just be done. Yeah. So you have like kind of like a reddish hue that you're using for the bat, especially in this panel right here. It's like, it's a little bit reddish, but it's mixed with blue. You're ending up with this purple. Purple looks good. So if you have this reddish for the bat, and then, I mean, I guess you didn't really continue it down here. I would definitely continue it down here because you have a very blue panel and you'll highlight the bat very well. That red should inform the other warm things on the page. Like, if she is going to be warm, like, you should, like, watch this. We're going to do 20% or 20 tolerance, and I'm just going to click her thigh, and we're going to get, like, selections all over the place. Yeah, we're getting it in the hair. We're getting it in the banister. Like, you've washed it to the point of it being so blue that, like, there's no focus. We can like warm her up a little bit. Which let's do that and see how it looks. Not only are we going to warm her up a little bit, but we're going to cool down sorry, not cool down. We're going to vary the value in the like little night negligee thing she's wearing. And here's the other thing. Like, this panel is about communicating this shadow of the bat here. And I don't know, like, because it's so blue, I don't know that, like, we haven't pulled our focus. Photoshop has so many hotkeys. We're just making sure. Yeah. Try this right now. This is RGB, but so I was thinking about trying that RGB conversion, but these pages are so large and with all the texture and layers that I fear that my computer will just like set my house on fire if I try to like start to do like previews and conversions and stuff. So we're not going to do that, but it's good to know that there are those things. I don't know if you did, because you're not in the chat, Nimesh. I know you're catching this later, but like, I don't know if you did Cmyk Russell's course. I don't know if Cmyk Russell like does RGB, converts over to CMYK. His stuff looks like it does. His stuff is very computery. I don't know if that's necessarily the right word. It's very like, it looks like he's like using all the Photoshop buttons is what I mean to say. He has recently started using CMYK. There you go. They all come around. All right. So like, we can like warm up. If we warm up her body just a little bit, like this, and this was just sliders. Like, we can actually like wash it with like a reddish, but I don't know. That looks weird with the sliders. But let's try just, yeah, like 20% orange. Just like warmed her up, separated her from the sheets, separated her from the bed, and you can like take the garment she's wearing eventually when we make all the selections. we're making all of the selections, and we can make it lighter. And I'm going to make it lighter with a grad because I want to pull the focus to like here. So like, you know, if we do something like this, and then like maybe a grad there as well, maybe like a special effect kind of grad. Like we start to pull the focus to the bat, you know. Cmyk steals all your fun, but you got to do it. Yeah. Here's the thing. So like, if you're working in RGB, the reason that you're attracted to RGB, the reason that it looks like you're doing better work in RGB and why you want to continue to be doing RGB is because you're going to be able to use like colors that are not like, see this little exclamation point? This color will not print in RGB. Like this color will print. So you think that you're doing like this brighter, more magical stuff. I've accidentally used RGB sometimes. Like sometimes the flatter puts it in RGB and I don't notice. And then I'm like, man, I'm on freaking fire. I'm like, I am a coloring god. And then I realize, oh no, this isn't going to print anything like this. Like I've just made a huge mistake. Like I understand. I get it. I get it. But like, you really want to rein it in. And especially when you're learning, you want every advantage that you can possibly get. But you really are doing yourself a disservice by getting into bad habits. But anyway, yeah, I think it looks like you're doing better. Yeah. Well, there's the reason right there. You've ruined all your fun. Yeah. You look like you're doing better work than you actually are. And then when you like, and the thing is too, when you're making a portfolio and you're not putting stuff in print, you're like, oh yeah, it's really clicking RGB all the way. And then you start putting stuff in print and then you're like, why is this dull? Why does this not work as well? You know? And a lot of this stuff too, I will like couch all these statements with like, this is my opinion. And there are very talented colorists who work in RGB. Tamara Bonneville's like probably the one that springs to mind. Like she is so talented and will champion RGB until the day she dies. But yeah. So I don't know. Just food for thought. But anyway, this page, I think there are some things happening on the page that like you want to address this focus. And if the moon is spotlighting this bat, like you can do some wild stuff. Like we backed up to like your original page, but like if the bat is coming through, let's get chat. We're going to get crazy. We're going to like spotlight her with the moon in a crazy way. I don't know if this is going to work actually. Chat, be cool if this doesn't work. Be cool. But like you could do like crazy stuff like this, or like, you know, if you want to highlight the bat, like think about the light that's like falling on her. And maybe like, so some of the light's getting filtered through the glass and some of it's coming in through the window. You could kind of do something like this, you know, like something wild. Like you want to create that like kind of side to side, like, flow. 'Cause the artist wants you here. The artist wants you going this way. And then the artist wants you here. And you're not getting a whole lot of direction from the page that you have laid out. Let's get crazy. You gotta go. Nick's crazy and you can't handle it. Stay with us, McCoy. Yeah. So it's like, you know, this is like thinking outside of the box. And a lot of younger, not younger, but like more inexperienced colorists are afraid to mess with the line art a lot. And sometimes you just have to. Like sometimes you just gotta like try stuff out. And like, you know, we tried it out. If it works, if it doesn't work, you dump it. If it doesn't work, like you just move on, you know, that kind of thing. I will say that, like, I don't, whoa. That, if you remember from Barry Colors, his portfolio review, like, we were putting some pages in grayscale, I believe. I think we did that. This page in grayscale, you're like, okay, like, this panel works pretty well, but, like, this is just a gray blob, you know, like, your values should be higher. Especially, like, you can run the grad the other direction, like bottom to top, and make, like, the thighs and stuff pop, and, like, the underside here. Yeah, like, you can really, like, work, and I see you thinking about that because you're, like, working the chin, but you're just not pushing it quite far enough. All right, let's move on because I think we've done this page to death. All right, here are your sleep pages, and I can tell you're doing, like, texture and stuff on these, and the texture looks awesome, but I'm running into the same problem that I had with the other stuff, where, like, I feel like we have, like, a stronger sense of environmental color here, but it's still kind of weird. And then, like, this page doesn't make sense to me. And so before the review started, I sat down to, like, try to kind of, like, piece it all out. And I was, like, trying to figure out, so, like, she wakes up and she's, like, red, but then she's blue, but then she's red, but then, like, are these chambers this chamber, or are these chambers, like, a subsection of this chamber? And then she's walking around, and I just realized that this is her right here in the drawing. So, also, thank you guys for all the follows. I don't know if my Streamlabs is gonna work, but I see you following. I respect it. Thank you. So yeah, so, like, she's getting out of the pod, and it's a red room, and you're doing this bold red, and you're like, you've rendered beautifully in here. Like, this looks great with the texture, spot on. But, like, you're losing, like, some of the window here in the hand, like, you just kind of, like, didn't follow through with just about everything. This should be the same red carried through here. This should be the same red. Like, we should, if the like, pod is going to be, here's, like, a trick. Okay. If she's getting out of the pod, and, like, you are, cause we were talking story with Daredevil. Okay. We were talking story with Daredevil about how, like, he's crashing into the room. He sees the guys attack him, and you want to convey that. And I get that. And, like, I don't know if that was the best page to convey that, but this page has a ton of opportunity for you to convey storytelling through color. You could make this whole background that's going on back here this same, like, blue. And if you do that, we're going to be fast and loose. Look at this mouse work that Filardi's doing. Whew. This is definitely Photoshop. We're definitely seasoned professionals. Don't look at that. So, like, we could take this and, like, shift it. Where's the blue? Where's the blue that I want? Shift it to, like, this blue, and then it looks like, oh, like, her pod is wrong. Like, her pod is red because it's wrong. And then, like, you keep her red here, and then, like, suddenly this corresponds with this, and you can even, like, go in and, like, oh my god, we're way too close. You go in and, like, correct it with red, and suddenly we're like, things are making sense. Like, the environment is starting to work together. Like we should, if we read her up here. We're fast and loose with it. But like, you know, we've read it, we've so now she's just red on the page. She is just red, her pod is red, and that is the only thing that's red. And now it works stronger. Like the storytelling kind of makes sense. Like I can tell that she woke up, she got up, she's in this pod, it's red, the rest of them are blue, and that sets up this page, which makes me go, oh, she's right there. You know, like I found her, she's right here. You know? And then like you move on to this page and you're like, oh, she's still waking up. She's in danger. She's still red. Like you've carried the thought of her being red through the page. This was also part of the problem that I had with this panel, is that like you have her red here moving, like walking into a hallway that is red, and then suddenly we're not red anymore. And like, if we don't even have to like red up the robot, just like the backgrounds here. Like, even if we just did this and then like made her like, we commit to this green that you got going on here. Oh man, this like, trying to work on this texture, and you did a lot of rendering in here. I thought I was going to be able to grab it with the wand, and I just can't. So like we can amp up this green. We're just going to do a screen layer, screen down some green on her. And then like we're starting to play in the realm of like, okay, we fixed the storytelling problems. The hallway might be better in a different color. It's hard to see her. Yeah, but I mean, that can be a value thing. Like we can, so I was looking at this and it looks like he did like a texture fill. Yeah. So like, yeah, he did this. Nimesh did a color fill, to like kind of unify it. 'Cause I think that he was struggling with the did I just say the realm? I did say the realm. That wasn't on purpose. Yeah, I think that Nimesh like got to a point where he was like here, and he was like, I can't figure out how to make this page make sense. And he was like, oh, we'll just red up that panel. I said it 2 more times. You guys keep bringing up the realm. Like, come on. So like, you know, we can go back to what this was before, this like gray. We can match this hallway. You know, now we've matched the hallway color, and it makes sense. You know, like, I mean, now we're running into the problem where it's like, okay, she's not lit by the tube anymore. Maybe she is just red. Like you have to like walk away from her being red, but like, you know, like make her like a normal kind of like skin tone. Maybe make this like, so there's like tech outside that's like silhouetted. You got to make the tech red or whatever to like carry the thread of like what's going on here. But yeah, I feel like this page is tough to work on storytelling wise. This is a difficult page to make work as far as storytelling goes. And the reason for that is that you have close up, close up, close up, and then the camera pulls back so hard that you don't even see the figure anymore. And then she walks down a hallway that was never set up. So it's like, you know, like the artist had some problems with storytelling that you have to fix as a colorist. And so it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to do. Also, the texture all looks really good. This panel looks great. Like the eyes look fantastic. Yeah, it just needs like some simple tweaks to get there, but like this can't work. And the problem is that you're like, again, I just want to recap it. You're alternating red, blue, red, blue, red. And that is like, it's mind fucking me. Like I can't understand what's happening here. So it just needs to be fixed. This page, however, I think so out of all the stuff you did, I think this page is the weakest. And I'm going to tell you why. So you have like normal skin tone, and then you have this purple light, and it's translating into like things just not working. Like it's almost like you were like ebbing into, it has the opposite problem. It's funny because it has the opposite problem of the vampire page, where the vampire page was like, with the bat coming through the window, was like too blue. It was just way too blue. You had like, you washed it in blue so many times that like you eventually got to a point where you're like, I think this is done. And then it wasn't done. And this page, it's like you stepped away from washing the characters in washes, and like he's in this like weird tech room that's like, you did this like purple blue thing going on, but then like the character's like covered in like this red and green and white, and like she's like kind of peach, and then he's like this other peach, and it's like, I would, if I were you, like just go in and like, I like this, I like the you definitely created like, like this room is purple and outside is yellow. And like, I like that. You got two different things in the color. It's opposite ends of the color wheel. So you're getting complementary colors. It's good. But like, you need to sell the rest. You got to sell me on the rest of this stuff. Maybe not the hallway here. We'll keep that white, but like, okay. So we've selected everything except for the hallway and the outside here. And I'm just going to wash it in just like a little bit of purple. This is like 30%. We'll see how this looks. Yeah. 30% is like, this is like a good place to start. You put a little bit of purple in the skin tones, a little bit of purple in the green. The green still looks weird to me, so you might have to like tweak that into like a gray. The metal is starting to look weird, so you might have to like tweak that too. But like, this is a stronger page. We can fix the characters are now in their environments. This is a stronger page. And you got this like these blue screens, so we can do this like purple, and then take a blue color, set it to screen, and just like wash them. Like put a little bit of put a little bit of the chat is onto my subliminal pushing the realm. You can wash them in like a little bit of blue, pop them out a little bit. Also, like, this guy is like super tech savvy, and like it looks like he's hovering around. I would think about that when you're doing the color designs, by like giving him little hover feet, like maybe like hover limbs. Might be kind of cool. Guys, hover limbs, is that a thing? It's a thing now. There we go. Like, you want to look for like opportunities to like do cool stuff like that. Yeah. So like, simple tweaks. Simple. Hover limbs, you like it. Yeah. Simple tweaks. And we went from this to this. Characters feel like they're now part of like this purple environment. I would tweak this door a little bit. Like you can, it's kind of like all the colors are whoa blending into each other. And then like if it's going to be darker inside, if it's like lit by all this ambient tech that's like around, you can make the outside a lot lighter. Like you can, do this like yellow, but then like add some kind of like light cascading in, something like that, or like orange, something like that. And you can kind of like play with these environments. And the reason that these flares all look really good is because we're in RGB. But yeah, why did the old man get out of bed and decide, yeah, I'll wear a metal diaper? Sounds like a good deal. Yeah, I mean, you could even make yeah. So like part of coloring is like also character design. Like the metal diaper kind of looks weird, but like maybe he's like metal from the waist down instead of like metal diaper and legs, like maybe we're like pulling one of these. Might look a little bit better. Like get him out of the diaper. Also, that screw in the diaper in the crotch, questionable design choice from the artist, but we'll roll with it. Like kind of futury, techy kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a chastity belt. All right. So, Nimesh, it seems like a lot. We've been talking about your work for like an hour and 15 minutes. It seems like a lot going on, but there are things that I think that you're doing that you're like on track. You are playing with washes a lot, which is awesome, because like getting over that hump and like stopping to think about environmental color rather than local color is huge. That's like so much of the game is local Joe stuff, like we were talking about with Barry Colors' review, local Joe stuff. So like I think you have a good sense of it, especially like the skiing page was like really, really strong. I think that if you did more of that, if you calibrate your monitor for print, I think that's one of the major things you got to do. And you did like more of that stuff, and you tighten the portfolio into some, you cut some of the pinups out of the website. Well, let me see if I can bring up the website again. We can briefly talk about some of your stuff on the site too, actually. Might as well. We're here. Oh, we already have it. So, yeah, like I see you doing like a lot of bright colors. Like I look at this and I'm like, the gray castle, gray skies is whatever, but you're doing this like green thing inside, and you're washing her with green, and you got like red like for the eyes, like, which is opposite on the color wheel. I see you thinking about this stuff, and it looks great. Like you're thinking about it. It's where you want to be. It's just going to take time and practice. But like, let's see some of like the newer stuff. Like this page, Gilded page 4. This page looks really good. Until like you get in here and you kind of like don't really know what to do. You're like doing this blue thing, you're doing a purple, and you're lighting it with this green, and then you're doing this orange. It's just like too much going on the page. But like all of this stuff looks fantastic. You're like knocking out the line art back here. Like you are like 90% there as far as like submitting a portfolio and starting to work, like get like low level color jobs, like, and really start like cutting your teeth on stuff. Stuff that I would avoid is like, so like this all looks really good, and partly because you're in RGB, which is why the glows look really strong. But but like the backgrounds are a little weak. Again, you're doing like, I would stop using the airbrush immediately. If I were you, like the firestorms, when you're using like the lasso and you're putting like grads through this, it looks great. Like this stuff looks great, but then you get here and you start using the airbrush and it like falls apart. And I see you thinking, oh, I can just airbrush in the abs a little bit and it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. Like it's because it doesn't have the same level of quality as the stuff that's out here. Like keep doing this, stop doing this. To put it bluntly. But yeah, I would RGB, really good brights. Yeah. But I also see your voice. Like this is a Batman page and a lot of people color Batman stuff really dark and you did not. Like, well, it's dark because your monitor is not calibrated, but you did this like bright purple Joker suit. Like I see you working like dark to light here, which is like really neat. You're adding this like really intense light source. You don't have any problems with value on this page. Like, I think you got good work. Like it's just about calibrating your monitor, putting away the airbrush and only using the grad tool. And then if you're going to be doing like, painted in parts, I would start using just like the hard edged brush. It's going to look weird at first, but it's going to make you better. Like I look at this page and I see you doing like this airbrushy stuff all over the place and it doesn't work. Like it creates more problems than it's solving, but yeah, I think you're good. I would, if you want to do like an art dump thing, like an archive of like a bunch of stuff like this, I would stop putting it on a page that says Nimesh's portfolio. I would stop putting it up here. I would tighten this page. If you're going to do a blog spot and this is going to be your portfolio page, tighten this page into 10 solid pieces. And then if you're going to do like, here's what I'm working on, I would do that on Instagram, or I would do that on another blog spot. I would keep a portfolio page separate. But I do think you're ready for a portfolio page, and I do think that you should start submitting to things. I think that if you start submitting to like low-level kind of stuff, you'll get picked up for some stuff that along the way that's going to like really put you through your paces as far as like how to get work, how to work quickly, how to like, you're going to start clocking in hours and you're going to get better quicker if you start doing that. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say about your work. It's strong. Little tweaks get you there. Stop working in RGB, calibrate your monitor, put the airbrush away. You're doing good though, man. You're on the track. Let me catch up with you. I sound like Garrus with all this calibration. Yeah, I know. I just need to calibrate all dang day. So, guys, we did it. Nimesh, you did it. You're at the end of this video, and hopefully you're still subscribed, and you're not like, flip the table, done with this. I know I gave you a lot to chew on, but think about it. I think that all of these lessons can be applied to anyone else's work. If you watch this and you're a new follower and you also want a portfolio review, you can subscribe up here. Twitch.tv/Nickfil/subscribe is where you want to be at. You need a Twitch account to do that. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for a month for free. Like you can just link your Twitch account to your Amazon account and you get a month. You can every month you have to resub it basically. But like anytime you want a portfolio review, subscribe. I will give you a portfolio review. You want to also dump it into the portfolios for review channel, which is subscriber only in the Discord. The Barely a Blender now following. Thank you very much. Yeah, you get on the Discord. The link for the Discord is below me if you're on Twitch, and it's in the description if you're on YouTube. In addition to like the subscriber based Discord, we've been talking today about portraiture and Magic the Gathering cards, and we were talking about I'm also doing a sketchbook challenge where I'm drawing every day, and I'm like, you guys are way outside of your comfort zone with like showing me portfolio stuff, and I am getting outside of my comfort zone. You can see my terrible drawings in the sketchbook challenge. I'm trying to do a sketchbook page a day, so there's a lot of stuff going on in the Discord. You're gonna want to come check it out if you're into that stuff. So yeah, again, Nimesh, thank you very, very much for letting us do this. Until next time, guys, keep making comics. I'll see you next time.